Hey guys, and welcome to Tnashi's Movie Corner. So for today's movie review, I'm going to be reviewing Resident Evil: The Final Chapter. This is courtesy of Brad. Honestly, it's the only reason I'm really able to see movies lately. I had a little help with Patreon, obviously earlier for one of the better films on it that I'll be reviewing. But Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson and written by him, starring his wife, Mila Jovovich, which I think I've always said that wrong, Ian Glenn, and Ali Larter. And, okay, so, as I said before, this is it. This is the final movie in the series. I know a lot of people joke about, no, it's not, it's quote-unquote the final movie, but they're going to do more. I honestly don't think they're going to do more. From all the interviews I've seen and everything that I've seen with this is actually the final film. You know, obviously they could reboot the entire series, but as far as this storyline, this is it. And I just want to make a note. It does have Ever Anderson as young... well, I'm not going to say who, but Red Queen, I'll say, as the Red Queen. So, and I thought that was interesting that they had their daughter actually be in this film. So, minute and 46 minutes long. Resident Evil as a series, as a game series, there's been a lot of mixed things. The first one's always deemed really good. The second one's okay. The third one's... I think it was the third one that was pretty good, but fourth one was at the peak. The fifth one went downhill. Sixth one went further down than that, and then they kind of bring it back a little bit. Which, with a game that is escaping me, that has two in the series, that did kind of bring it back. But there's a lot of touch and go with the series as a game series. A lot of kind of different looks at it. For what it's worth, the ones that I played, because I didn't play like 0 or anything like that, but the ones I have played, I've actually enjoyed them all. I think 6 was probably the worst one for me, but I did enjoy 5 quite a bit. It was just a different take. It was more action-y, which the fourth one was leaning towards a little bit, but the fifth one really capitulates on it. But that's the game. So that's just giving you background here. Like, you understand, I do play the games. I'm actually fans of the games, and guess what? I am actually a fan of the movies. What? Get out of here. Go get. How dare you call yourself a fan, you traitor? I understand. I get it. Apparently you can't like one and also like the other. A lot of people are like, oh, you like the movies? Well, you must not be a fan of the games. That's not true at all. Now, if you want to see really good Resident Evil movies, I mean, top-notch Resident Evil movies, there is Damnation, I think it was one, and Regeneration. I'm pulling that off of my head because it's been a while since I've seen them. But they are the CG movies that kind of tie into the game somewhat, so that's good. They're well done. I enjoyed them a lot. As far as the movie series goes, again, it has its ups and downs. I don't think it's ever gotten as good as the first one. I really enjoyed the first one, and a lot of people were pissed at the first one because it didn't tie into the first game well enough at all. In fact, in many ways, it was just Resident Evil and title only. I get that, but first there were things that they couldn't possibly have done. I mean, we're talking about an independent film at the time. No real budget, you can tell that. And I thought the story they gave was just fine. I don't need to see something that's directly connected to the games. I think that people get a lot of confusion on that because you look at X-Men, Iron Man, Captain America. There's, all the superhero movies and everything don't have that much connection to the actual source material as far as the original comics are. They have some nods, but that's about it. So anyway, I liked the first movie quite a bit. I thought that was really good. Other movies later on, there are ups and downs with it. Going into the final one, though, I was kind of looking forward to it, despite the fact that many people were obviously coming out against it. A lot of people go in hating the other ones. So if you have that mindset and you hate the other ones, you're going to hate this one. I know you try to leave it at the door and judge this as its own thing, but it's built upon other movies that you just like, so you're going to dislike it. That's just it. for me as kind of a fan for liking them as fun movies. Not great movies, but they're fun movies. Did I enjoy this movie? Yeah, okay. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Started off, it does the usual kind of thing. Starting off at a point where it introduces, like, recaps everything. I don't know why it does it. It just, they choose to do it. However, it had some interesting stuff at the beginning before that, so I liked that. I like Mila Jovovich as an action hero. Like, I like seeing her. I think she's really good as a character, as being that kind of badass. Okay, so there were some jump scares that were, there were some that were pretty good. There were some very interesting story concepts in here. I do think in trying to kind of retcon the rest of the series, make everything add up, they actually left some gaps. And being a actual fan of the series, I picked up on that, so I don't appreciate that. They could have done that a little better. It could have been a little more tightly fit. I thought the villain was fun, although there is something done with Dr. Isaacs that I did not like, and it reoccurred. It did reoccur in this film, and so I didn't appreciate that. I think it kind of took some of the stuff out of it, but I do like that they went back to the Hive. They're going back to the start, so I enjoyed that part of it. I think Wesker was criminally underused. There's a lot of throwaway characters in this, which you could expect. I was hoping for more cameos from some of the other films. We didn't get that, so that was a bit of disappointment. The editing of the action, for the most part, is just horrible. It's just absolutely horrible. So I'm just going to get that out of the way. It's so terrible. And I could tell, for the most part, what was happening. But there were some times where I couldn't even tell. And I'm usually good about that. So that was terrible. But there were some nice set pieces. There were some nice creatures. There's some good jump scare moments. There was an interesting plot kind of with it, and some of the stuff that they were trying to establish I thought was very interesting. It lacked a little bit in execution, but the concept was interesting. There's a reveal, if you will, about Alice, and there was someone who said one time in their review, who doesn't like these, mind you, that it was a disservice to the fans and just kind of crapped over them. I disagree. I thought it was actually a welcoming thing for me, because I didn't really expect it until I was watching the movie and I picked up on something early on, and so then I knew. But up until that point, like, I didn't know that there was going to be this kind of reveal in this movie. So I did like that. Again, there's some interesting notions to it. The acting is not overly great. I don't expect that. I think the best actor in it was probably Ian Glenn, and that's just because I like him from Game of Thrones. So there you have it there. But there were some good moments in this film. This film is kind of a mixed bag, though, because it's got some really horrible editing, and it's got some moments that don't quite deliver, but it's got some, like that opening, the entire opening stretch, for the most part, I actually enjoyed. There was somewhat of a nod to a game. So Resident Evil 5, I think. Maybe I could be wrong about that, but I thought it was kind of a nod to that. So either way, though, like, there was definitely some interesting stuff to it and some stuff that worked. I don't think the CG was outrightly just absolutely garbage. I think kind of Underworld, the movie, probably steals that for me, because it's painstakingly bad. But as far as CG goes, there's definitely higher and lower moments for it. But again, having not many characters to follow didn't really hurt me, because that's what you get with most zombie things. So I didn't really mind that as bad. I just wish that some stuff had played out a little differently. Obviously, I do have my gripes with it. Giving it a rating 1 through 10, and I'm still sticking with that, because by golly, I'm stuck on my rating system. I'm trying to do Star Wars Incorporated. So if you think of a good line from Star Wars that would work as a rating, let me know, because I'm stuck. Like, second from the top, I think, is the one I need. But anyway, being positive. That being said, giving it a rating 1 through 10, I think that's so difficult. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. And I'm going to do that because I didn't outrightly hate it. I do think there were some good moments for it. 6 may be pushing it for me, honestly, the more I like, if I continually to think about it. But I think if you did not like this series, this is not going to win you over. If you love this series, you might be perfectly fine with this movie. I enjoy the series for what it is. It's just an action thing. So I think from that standpoint, it's not horrible. It's definitely not my favorite, obviously, but I don't think it's my least favorite either. So yeah, 6 out of 10. That's what I'm going to stick to. And there's a lot of people that I've seen that do actually enjoy it, but they don't really do reviews. So you're going to see a lot of hate. Which I like to get the balance. I like to get the good and the bad. I don't like to hear generally one full perspective or the other, like, and dismiss everything. So anyway, that's just where I stand. So that's all I have to say about it, I think. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. I know it's a little longer, but hopefully you enjoyed this. And if you do, click that like button, share, subscribe to my channel, and watch my other reviews. I do appreciate it. Also, you can find me on Patreon where you get some of these early, so please go and check that out and show your support. It really means the world to me. It absolutely means the world to me for anyone that does that. But thank you so much, and until next time, peace. Yeah, by the way, after all that, no, this movie isn't good. This movie isn't good. Do not, I mean, look, I always recommend go and check out the movies and make your own opinion of it. And I maintain that. And I've been a moderate fan of this series. Like, I know it's had some stupid moments, but I thought the first one was actually a good film. And the rest of these films, they're okay. They're entertainment. This movie, oh my God, from the editing, from the lack of character whatsoever, including Alice. Don't give a damn about her. Don't give a damn about the villains. Neither does the movie for how it handles things and how it does it. Not talking about who Alice is or more of her history or anything like that, which I actually thought was interesting and a nice change of pace for the series, but more to do with the end result of her being what she is and all that. Like, I'm sorry, this movie is not that good. It has some good moments in it, and giving it a rating 1 through 10, I'm actually going to I'll give it a 4 out of 10, and I will likely force myself to buy it just so I have the entire thing, because it does have some brief moments, but oh my God, it's such a headache even watching. Who did the editing? Who did the editing in this? This is like the crappiest editing I've ever seen. And guess what, guys? I tricked you because you thought I actually enjoyed this film. I'm sorry. I had to. I know it's early for April Fools, but I had to. But I had to make the point of associating that I have been a fan of this series in different aspects of it. It's not like I'm over high fan, but I've been a fan of the games, and I've been a fan of the series for what we had, and especially the first movie, as I will continue to say over and over again, because I enjoyed the first movie. But this movie it went so out into left field. It's gone beyond the point of no return at this stage. So I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I'm glad this is the last one. Hopefully they can bring forward new movies and actually have new movies, and a new Resident Evil series altogether, because I just think this movie was a disservice. So yeah, those are my final thoughts on it. Sorry for tricking you guys, but hey, what are you gonna do, right? Yep. Stick around. Did you stick around? Did you notice that this was actually, the ending was longer? No, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'm done. I'm going to go start drinking. Good God, this movie.